Hey guys, Dr. Dave here. I am out for Lake Day, or as we like to call it sometimes, Homeschool Adventure Day. Every day, or not every day, but one day a week, we come out and we have a Homeschool Adventure Day where it's hiking, Lake Day, River Day, museums, things like that, at least one day a week, usually more than one day, because tomorrow we're also going to go see a movie about dinosaurs. And so let me show you the lake real quick before I get to the purpose of this video. So yeah, beautiful swimming spot over there. I got several kids in the water already. I got one of them behind me fishing. He likes to come and fish a little bit, plus swimming. But what I wanted to talk to you about was a first aid kit. So what kind of first aid kit does Dr. Dave carry when he goes for these little adventure days? Well, it's a small one. Of course, I have my IFAK in my get home bag, but actually on the trail in my backpack and in the water bag, I carry a little tiny first aid kit with a few supplements. This one I got from REI. It's called the Day Hiker First Aid Kit. You see it right there. It's for 2 people for 1 day. Like I said, it's small, but it fits just about anywhere. I mean, you can throw this in your pocket if you wanted to. Just don't go swimming with it unless you waterproof it well. There you go. Let's show you what I got in here. So dangling from the outside, CPR mask. A disposable CPR mask, but I'll tell you what, with the skill and training I have, I would hate to come up on somebody that I don't know that needs CPR and not want to do it because I don't want to lock lips with a stranger. And though some of you might do that at bars every weekend anyway, but I don't really want to do that. Plus I'm married, so don't get your ideas on that, ladies. But you know, if I don't have a CPR mask with me, I got to be honest with you, if I don't know the person, I'm only going to do chest compressions. But breathing is part of that, as you know, for those of you that have had the class. If you haven't, hit me up. I can teach you one. But CPR mask. Also, next thing. Now, this is not just for strangers, but also anybody. Gloves. I got 1 pair of gloves in here. Like I say, it's basically a single-use kit. 1 pair of gloves. If it's a stranger, I don't want their blood all over me or their random body fluids. But I'll tell you what, it's not just for that, it's for family as well. I don't want to cause an infection because I'm touching them with nasty hands. And if we've been out swimming in the lake, hiking, things like that, I may not know where these things have been. So always wear gloves when you treat somebody. Let's see what else we got in here. On the trauma side, just a random assortment of BandAids and stuff. We got knuckle BandAids, or actually fingertip BandAids. We got these knuckle BandAids. These things are super helpful. I love carrying these because they come in more handy than you'd think. And then for hiking, especially, something I added to this was a fairly good sized sheet of moleskin. If you don't know what moleskin is, man, let me educate you. Carry some. If you start getting a hot spot, you know, for a blister, or you actually have a blister or something like that, just slap it on. What it does is it reduces the friction between your foot or wherever, your foot and the other surface, and so it's just perfect for reducing blisters, things like that. I've actually used it on my nipples before for long marathon type runs, because if you've ever run a super duper really long run, like a mile or more, I'm just kidding, like a marathon or something, your shirt will rub your nipples raw, and it does it on the dudes. For you ladies, I feel bad for you. You're probably wearing a sports bra, but us dudes don't usually wear those. If you do, you kind of wonder about what else is wrong. But it'll wear the nipples raw. And I've been running before and have big red spots on the front of my shirt where my nipples were just bleeding, and that just hurts. So you can actually get the moleskin, cut out a little hole for the nipple area and apply it, and it'll reduce the friction there, and it helps. Honest, it helps. That's not going to be the case for most of you. I mean, you're not going to need it for that, but for your feet when you're hiking, oh, it's awesome. All right, you got a little section here that's basically the medicine section. So I got some Neosporin, and actually a disposable wooden pair of tweezers for pulling splinters or ticks. Got some non-aspirin, so acetaminophen. This is all like generic names, so I'm having to see which ones they are. A Soothisting, you know, topical anesthetic for bee stings. Got a couple of those. Bee stings, fire ant bites. As I showed you in a video a couple weeks ago, I've got 5 scorpion bites on my back right now, where the whole family of scorpions got a hold of me on the front porch, and that's not pleasant. All right, so we got some antacid. We've got another pain reliever. This one is ibuprofen. It's called propanol, but ibuprofen, acetaminophen, another Neosporin, and this one is an antihistamine. This one's actually 25 milligrams of Benadryl. And so if the something bites you and it's a little more serious, or you start having some allergy troubles when you're hiking, one of those can literally be a lifesaver for some people. All right, now the bigger trauma section. Let's see what we got in here. Now, they didn't have much in here by way of trauma. And I'll tell you a story in just a second. I used literally every single thing that was in this trauma on an accident that I had. But we've got a 3x3, just a little gauze pad. We've got a couple 2x2s, just tiny little gauze pads. We've got a roll gauze, some tiny little scissors, and some tape. And like I said, it may not look like much. Those of you that are trained like me or deal with some bigger stuff, this is obviously not going to handle a big emergency. It's not meant to. It's meant to just be a little day kit. Right there in my car, and often on me is my get home bag, and it's got a much bigger IFAK in it. For me, all my kids carry IFAKs. If you don't know what an IFAK is, be sure to check out my bug out bag course, and I'll help you build one. But here's something I added here, mainly after an incident that I suffered, is a big feminine hygiene product, mostly known as a maxi pad. These are great, really inexpensive trauma bandages. I mean, think about it. They are created to absorb a lot of blood, and so they do work perfect in that regard, whether it's used for its intended purpose for women, or if you have a large head wound, which I did one time. Let's see, you see that little crease right there? Not from the sunglasses, but there is a crease right there on my head. I was hiking one day with my wife and my oldest son, and you know, we were just having some fun climbing on some abandoned railroad cars, and I smacked my noggin so hard that it split my head wide open, and it quickly overwhelmed everything in this kit. My wife literally had to take the shirt off her back, and we had to hike back out after I hurt myself, so I was holding that thing and all the bandages on the top of my head, and it was still gushing pretty good. It was pretty cool. Now that it's over, if you joined the bug out bag course I mentioned before, I've got some good pictures of that in the first aid section, kind of as a way of showing you that how quickly a simple trip can overwhelm your first aid kit. So, you know, carry what you think you need to carry. I carry multiple kits. I mean, catch anything, buddy? No. The answer is not yet, right? Now, if you catch any snakes, let me know. He likes catching snakes as much as fish. More fun to play with. But what was I saying? Oh, first aid kits. So I carry multiple ones because I got a bunch of kids, and we're always doing crazy stuff that sometimes lead to trauma. And usually not too serious. I mean, my head was pretty much the most serious thing that happened in this family. Well, except for the rubber band fight where one of my boys ended up with 3 staples in his head. But I digress. I carried this in my backpack. We've all got IFAKs in our get home bags, which are always with us in the car. And we actually carry a car first aid kit as well because, you know, BandAids, things like that, we always need them. So, little primer on first aid kits, and specifically this one, the REI Day Hiker. If you have any questions, hit me up in the comments, especially if you have any questions about training, first aid, CPR, or my bug out bag course. Feel free to let me know. I'll talk to you about it, and I even have some free stuff I can send you, maybe whet your interest. And so, you know what, I'm gonna end this video, and you know what, I'm gonna go spray on some sunscreen and jump on top of my son in the water and see. You know what I like doing? I like trying to sneak out there like a ninja fish and sneak up under him. See, we're in freshwater lake right here, no sharks, no alligators, nothing that tries to eat us like the places we used to swim. The biggest thing here is a catfish, but he doesn't know that. And so I swim up on him. He thinks that it's a shark. It's kind of fun to hear him scream.